my name is Dustin Young, 36 years old, have no kids, single. And it was important to me to jump into understanding childbirth and the process, and wanted to understand more about what doulas do because of my younger sister and what she experienced firsthand from her first experience being pregnant and losing her child, and learning more about the rate of Black women that die from childbirth or have different issues, complications during the process. Wanted to ensure, there's no guarantee, but wanted to ensure she was presented with as much knowledge as possible during the process so she could empower herself. I can empower her, the people around her can be empowered, and we can make this pregnancy and everything as smooth as possible. All right, let's start from the beginning. So my little sister goes into labor. Early that day on December 2nd, I believe, like around 1 o'clock. I guess that's when she first started feeling her contractions. She was in Riverside at visiting family out there, and like 2-3 hours away from her. So as soon as she hit me like, hey, I'm starting to feel something in my stomach, I panicked. I was like, oh no, drive back home. We need to start this process now. We got to follow the birth plan. We didn't spend all this time creating that for you to be 2.5 hours away and I can't get to you. So, obviously overreacting, knowing that, it's going to take some time for the baby to come. So birth plan was actually labor until she was about 8 to 9 centimeters at the house. So by the time we get to the hospital, she could just go. We did that. I think we waited a little bit too late because on the drive, and I couldn't figure out like how many centimeters she was dilated, obviously. So I'm just basing off like the contractions and every time they was coming based off of what I researched. It's like, all right, I think you're close. Tell me how your body feels. Do you feel like the baby's coming? Like, all right, let's go. So we drive in a car. It's about 7 in the morning in LA. So now everybody's going to work. Now there's traffic. Now my little sister is screaming and she's not verbal really or communicating in the passenger seat. I was able to get her to the hospital, got her out the car, put her in a wheelchair, rushed her to the front. This one man's like, what's going on? My little sister is screaming at him, I'm having a baby. Baby's at the top. So we run to the elevator. We sit there. We get to the top. We meet a nurse. During this time, the nurses, they was cool. But I don't know if they fully believed my sister when she was saying like, oh, the baby's really coming. Because they had her go to a bathroom to try to give urine samples. And my sister's like, well, if I pee, the baby's coming out the toilet. Take me to a room. I know my body. I feel him coming. Please take me there. So by the time we actually got to the room, they laid her down. So according to the birthing plan, we were supposed to do different positions so she could actually push the baby out. But they laid her down, and by the time they looked to see how many centimeters she was dilated, she was pretty much crying at this point. So this is go time, and I'm like right there. It's me and my mom in the room, and my mom, she's this is not her thing. She didn't want to actually see all what's going on, and I'm big bro, so my mind is not even on the concept of like what's going on. I'm actually seeing like the whole process, and I'm just like I'm right there, like right over the nurse's shoulder, like, oh my God, this is great. I'm like telling her to push, like breathe, you got this. The doula came, so she was right there holding her hand, and we kind of like just pushing her through the process. After 3 pushes, the head comes out, and I'm like, oh shit. There's a head that's hanging out. What's next? What's the next process? She's like, nurse is like, calm down, it's okay. We gotta get the shoulders out. So she gave like 3 more pushes, and all the shoulders come out. Baby just falls out. All the fluid comes out. The baby, they take a little suction cup to get some mucus, I guess, out the baby's mouth. Probably like a few seconds later, baby starts screaming. They put her on her body, and it was an amazing experience actually. To see everything, and then also the placenta coming out. That was also, I hear about it, but then once you actually see this big old organ, that first of all, it's still crazy that you guys' bodies develop that once everything starts, the process starts. I try not to normalize experiences. For example, like plants growing, the sun outside coming up and down, the moon, stars, the ocean. childbirth or any type of birth is an amazing experience. And I think just going through the process firsthand, it did something for me. It allowed me to, one, appreciate you guys more. I already had a higher appreciation for women, but like just going through the process and understanding what you guys put your body through to make this happen, to create life. I don't know, it was a different experience for sure. And I guess what I gained from it is I have a lot of homeboys, and a lot of my friends, have kids or are about to have kids. And during certain conversations, a lot of things that I've learned, they don't know. So I never knew what I wanted to do with this information, but I do know like now, because I've mentored a lot of young men as well. I want to provide as much information as possible to men on how to like better support expectant mothers, sisters, aunts, whoever, because you guys need it. Even especially after birth and postpartum, like coming over, cooking, cleaning up so that my sister could kind of like just rest and sleep and breastfeed so her body could heal is it's important for sure.
Would you say that men, whether partners or brothers, friends, etc., but men have an ability have the ability to positively impact the spiritual, emotional, and physical health and wellness of a pregnant mother?
Absolutely. So during the time, I guess I share this. So for my sister, for example, my presence as a big brother was needed, not to take away from the father that was there, but stress levels during this time could impact the body. We already know what stress does to the body, but stress, obviously, to like a pregnant woman, you want to ensure that nothing could kind of go wrong. So you want to create as much positive energy around this time as possible. Sometimes we just got to check our ego at the end of the day. And that's what I've done during this time. I was called different names and stuff during time. Like, you don't trip on things like that. This is more like you understand what's going on, and this is bigger than you. And the end result is amazing. So like, if we could check our ego and our pride at the door and just really support and fully educate ourselves on this process and what the woman goes through, I think we have a true understanding. And we want to put any extra pressures or stress on the woman during this process. We want it to be as smooth as possible, especially for our sisters.